From MTN News, this is Montana This Morning.
Methamphetamine in rural and suburban areas of Montana, a growing concern coupled with the increased seizures of fentanyl. How local law enforcement and prosecutors feel about the issue. Coming up.
And as Southwest Montana residents know all too well, the housing crisis is just not getting any better. At 6:36, learn why the skyrocketing cost of a place to live redefining wealth and class across America. Well, happy Monday, Southwest Montana. Just ahead of 6:30, Chet Lehman, Matt Elwell with you here. Kind of a gray skies, damp conditions around. Temperatures are not too bad.
It's really not. Our overnight temperatures only into the 40s and 50s for most of the area, but we have rain, and our temperatures are not going to go up dramatically through the day.
What you see is what you get.
Yeah, that's pretty much it. Grab the umbrella, grab the raincoat. Temperatures into the 40s and 50s. We'll see daytime highs into the 50s, maybe low 60s for a few areas. We also have several flooding concerns locally, mainly focused around the Gallatin River, out toward Gallatin Gateway, also toward Logan. Those areas are really expected to be some problem areas through Wednesday of this week. So again, we're seeing more rain, some very heavy rain out toward West Yellowstone. Of course, that's adding to our problems that we're seeing in the area. A lot of that rain focused right over Gallatin, Madison counties for the day today. As you get into the evening, some cooler air moving in. We may see some snow trying to fly for a few even valley locations. Daytime highs into the 50s. We're talking rain through most of the day for the Bozeman area, Butte. Just hit and miss drops, but it is going to be windy. We're going to talk about a big warm up by the end of the week. That's coming up in just a few minutes.
All right, well, thank you, Matt. 6:31, day off today for some. Montana Tech closed today. School says an electrical outage causing the closure, but does not explain how that outage occurred. All classes and activities are canceled, and all offices are also closed. Staying in the mining city, Butte Silver Bow Sheriff Ed Lester says a man who was shot during an incident on East Park Place Saturday afternoon remains in a medical facility. He is expected to survive. Sheriff Lester said the 9mm handgun used in the shooting has been recovered. The man who allegedly shot the victim is in custody, while charges are yet to be determined. Name of the suspect and victim not being released at this time. Sheriff Lester says an investigation into the incident is ongoing. No danger currently to the public. Elsewhere in Southwest Montana, Montana's drug epidemic leaves no community, large or small, unaffected. Town of Livingston seeing an increase of crime and overdoses. Local leaders are speaking out. TN's Jane McDonald has that story.
It was in this building right here where I sat in court one morning and listened to case after case, the majority of which all revolved around drug crimes.
It's increasing year after year after year. We're seeing addiction rates that are higher than ever. Caseloads are higher than ever.
I think the vast majority of my cases are, I don't know the exact percentage, but I would say it was 90% or above.
It's something that County Attorney Kendra Lassiter and Sheriff Brad Bickler see nearly every day. The grip that meth and other narcotics have on Park County and the state of Montana.
Cases that we investigate, whether they're violent crimes or property crimes, there will be a drug nexus to tie, I would say, the vast majority of those cases.
And if there is a drug component to those crimes, Sheriff Bickler says that nearly 100% of the time it will be methamphetamine. Last year, Montana State troopers seized nearly 50 pounds of meth. In the first 10 weeks of this year, they've already seized 33 pounds, 2/3 of last year's seizures. And meth is a drug often being laced with fentanyl.
The scary thing about fentanyl, obviously, is how lethal it is. The first time could be the last time.
This is not just a Billings problem. This is not just a reservation problem. We are seeing this stuff literally everywhere.
It's terrifying. It's terrifying. We had a case where the MRDTF officer was telling me not too long ago where they had to administer Narcan to someone several times in 1 week and basically bring them back from the dead.
The DEA says that a fentanyl overdose looks like pupils, changing size, clammy skin, and in the worst cases, breathing troubles, respiratory failure that could lead to death.
I do fear, and other colleagues of mine are in fear that will at some point surpass the methamphetamine problem we have.
In Livingston, Jane McDonald, MTN News.
Now, Jane tells us Attorney General Knutson, Sheriff Bickler, and County Attorney Lassiter all agree education is of the utmost importance. They urge residents to reach out to local law enforcement, the Drug Task Force, or simply have a conversation with loved ones about the dangers of drugs and especially the dangers of fentanyl. Well, efforts to make marijuana legal under federal laws and not just many state laws are something we have covered for a while now. President Biden campaigned on changing federal rules, but so far very few actions have been taken by the president. Recreational marijuana now legal in 19 states, but illegal under federal law. So as our Joe St. George reports from California, some change could be on the horizon in states where it is legal, specifically with where cannabis businesses store their money.
They shot and hit me with a ricochet, but it went through the bottom of my foot.
All Joshua Chase wanted to do was have a smooth, grand opening of his new cannabis dispensary in Oakland, California.
Where did they shoot from?
That direction.
Instead, he got shot, victimized by burglars, seeing a marijuana shop as a perfect opportunity to steal some cash.
How's your foot doing today?
I got the stitches out. Honestly, it's just a bone. They broke a bone.
This happened 7 weeks ago, and to some degree, he wasn't surprised by it.
This is just what you sign up for being in the cannabis industry. This is just what comes with the business when we don't have banking.
What's this lack of banking Josh is talking about? Well, when typical businesses receive cash, they can easily take the money to a nearby bank and deposit it. That's not the case with marijuana dispensaries. Because marijuana is still illegal at the federal level, most federally insured banks don't accept deposits from marijuana businesses. That means many dispensaries have a lot of cash on hand until they can take it to specialized institutions. For the same legal reasons, most cannot accept credit cards either. In Washington state, in January and February of this year, there were 50 armed robberies of dispensaries.
If we were able to have a banking system that was open, it would not only make it a safer environment for us, it would make it more efficient for us.
This is not a new debate. In fact, I've been covering the intersection of marijuana, politics, and banking since 2015 when I started reporting on marijuana in Denver. So why am I doing another story on banks and weed? Well, some in Congress believe this summer, real change could happen.
That change could come from what's known as the Safe Banking Act, which would allow dispensaries access to federally insured banks in states where cannabis is legal.
Modernizing our banking laws so that the cannabis industry isn't operating in the all-cash darkness.
Last month, lawmakers debated including the Safe Banking Act and the Bipartisan Innovation Act, which is meant to fund science, computer chips, and more. That legislation just might be one of the last major bills Congress passes before the election.
Thank God it wasn't something more serious.
As for Josh, all he can do, stay optimistic.
You're a tough guy, but were you scared?
No.
In Oakland, California, I'm Joe St. George.
6:37 now. The current housing market making many people question if or when they'll ever be able to buy a home. Jesse Cohen tells us how building our way out of this crisis may not be the only solution.
On every corner of nearly every American city seems to be new home construction or a for sale sign. But those signs aren't indicative of the housing crisis we have on our hands.
We have a housing shortage, and therefore, with prices rising so fast, that means there's simply not enough inventory for the first-time buyers.
The millennials and the Gen Z generations make up many of these first-time buyers, creating a gap in generational wealth.
If this situation continues long-term, I think it's really just going to exacerbate the generational inequality that we see already.
In this country, your wealth status of low, middle, or upper class has primarily been defined by your income. But this current housing crisis is redefining that.
We'd like to think that we define ourselves by our incomes, right? In many ways, I think we're more defined and more trapped by our wealth and our assets.
I asked Christina Huber, a professor of economics at Metropolitan State University of Denver, if this shift means more people who are considered to have a middle income will soon fall into that low income category because they cannot afford to buy a home.
Because a lot of that low income housing, you qualify for it, but you don't necessarily get to reap the equity gains from it.
Homeownership has been the bedrock of the American dream for so long. There's an expectation that we can figure this out and carry on this legacy to future generations.
Many experts like Brian Green with the National Association of Realtors feel we can build our way out of this mess.
We are way behind where we ought to be for the size of our population in terms of home construction. We're about 5.5 million units short according to our estimates.
But Christina doesn't agree.
So I don't necessarily see building more homes as something that's going to solve a lot of our problems, right? The builders also purposely don't build the starter homes and the cheaper homes and the cheaper apartments, right? They're building the luxury apartments and the luxury homes because they're making more money that way, right?
Chief economist Lawrence Yoon feels an influx of housing is needed, but they need to be affordable.
So there has to be the affordable housing options. And when we are looking at affordable housing options, these are people in the middle income, say nurses, teachers, people who are in the local community. They should be rooted in the local community by being owners, but now they are getting priced out.
The numbers tell us this story. As of April of 2022, the average sales price of a new home in the U.S. was about $570,000. The average household income is just under $88,000.
Half of the homes in the country, if we're looking nationwide, require an income of $100,000 or more. And when you look across the American population, a majority of the population could not afford a home.
Christina, Brian, and Lawrence all agree it's going to take real change for buyers to feel it. In Denver, I'm Jesse Cohen reporting.
The need for affordable housing in Southwest Montana is a story I've been covering since I moved here in 1989.